It's time now for our Sunrise Smart Start. State lawmakers have reached a deal to legalize recreational marijuana here in New York. That deal will allow adults over the age of 21 to buy cannabis legally. New Yorkers will be able to grow a limited number of plants in their home as well. Sales revenues will be reinvested into communities through education, grants, and drug treatment. Now, there are many who are concerned about what this will mean for those who smoke pot and then get behind the wheel of a car. Erica DeCoste live at the Gates Police Department with more on the dangers of driving under the influence. Erica, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. Well, I asked Gates Police Chief James Van Brederode if law enforcement has looked at the other 14 states that have already legalized marijuana to see if there was an uptick in crashes in the road due to that, and he says there was all across the board. He says he sees people driving under the influence of marijuana every day, and that's before any legalization. The bottom line is there's no way of knowing how legalization will affect roads ahead of time, but right now we're seeing people don't realize marijuana can be just as deadly when you drive a car as driving with alcohol could be. Driving, however, is just one concern law enforcement is discussing right now.
What is this going to do to the black market? Is this going to increase the number of homes and neighborhoods where people are going to be pulling up and buying it? We don't know what this is going to do to the black market. And then thirdly, our concern is, what is this going to, how many new calls to 911 is this going to generate for quality of life issues, right? For example, right, your neighbor's on their deck in the backyard, they're smoking, the smoke's coming into the window of your house.
Now, looking at the statistics of those 14 states that have already legalized, Van Brederode says there was also about a 20% increase for those states in the people that started using it for the first time. In Gates, Erica DeCoste, News 8.
Erica, thank you. For more on what's included in this bill to legalize recreational marijuana, head to rochesterfirst.com. Well, today, President Biden will deliver a speech on COVID vaccination efforts. That speech coming as COVID infections are rising after nearly 3 months of decline. We are joined once again live by Washington correspondent Raquel Martin this morning. Raquel, good morning. First up, should Americans be alarmed by this trend?
Good morning. Well, President Biden, as well as top White House officials, say they are concerned about this uptick in COVID-19 infections. They're urging Americans not to let their guards down, despite the millions of vaccine doses going out each day.
Funds all the steps I've just described.
Well, what else can we expect from the president this week, Raquel?
Well, we also know that the president will be talking about his economic recovery plan. Now, this plan will be addressing infrastructure needs, and it's a multi-trillion-dollar package. So there's a lot of eyes on and attention on this particular deal, just because we know there is bipartisan consensus that the nation needs to address its failing roads and bridges. But it's unclear exactly if there will be bipartisan support for whatever the details are inside of President Biden's plan. And one of the biggest issues that lies ahead is how much is this going to cost and how are we going to pay for it? We're told by Jen Psaki, who appeared on Fox just yesterday, that they plan to explain in details the taxes and expenses that will be required in order to fund this legislation.
And of course, the devil is always in the details. Raquel, thank you once again for your live update from Washington this morning. Now, according to the CDC, 15.5% of Americans have been fully vaccinated against the coronavirus. And of course, that number continues to rise each day. Well, one number that is not rising this morning is the wind chill. Yet the combination of cold air and that strong breeze is really having an impact, Josh.
It is. It'll definitely wake you up as you head out the door here this morning. 6:49 a.m. First light showing up at the Port of Rochester. Got a lot of clouds out there. Busy breezes, too. A little bit of bluster up in West Webster. It's 35. Good morning, Canandaigua. You're at 34. Good morning, Canisius. You're at 31. Feels like it's in the low 20s right now, so you definitely need the heavier jacket heading out the door. The clouds and the flurries that we have right now, they will fade, and we should see developing sunshine as the afternoon wears on. It'll be a lot brighter. Highs, though, only into the low 40s, a far cry from where we were yesterday, and there's more winter weather, I think, on the way by the middle of the week.
All right, Josh, thank you. Time now for another update of our sunrise traffic on this Monday morning. We do have the report of an accident on Glide and Maple Streets in Rochester. and a slowdown on 531 near Brockport at this hour as well. As you can see, things flowing nicely along 490, 390, and 590 running smoothly as well. An investigation continuing this morning after a house was shot at in Greece. It happened on Shore Acres Drive near Ontario Beach Park yesterday. Police called to that home around 2 in the afternoon. They heard several shots being fired when they arrived. They say no one was injured and no arrests have been made. Rochester City Council will hold a meeting today considering a resolution for the police reform and reinvention plan. The meeting will happen at 4. It will be streamed on the council's YouTube and Facebook pages. Police departments across New York are required to submit a reform plan to the state following an executive order by the governor last June. The plans are due coming up on April 1st. One man hospitalized after a stabbing in Rochester. Police responding to Lyle Avenue around 10:30 last night for that report of a person stabbed. The victim eventually called police from an address on Mount Read Boulevard. Police say he had a stab wound to the upper body. The injuries are not considered life-threatening. No arrests have been made, but that investigation is ongoing. Well, East High School will host a job fair for students in the Rochester City School District this week. The Future Ready Youth Workforce Readiness Series will include networking and job opportunities for high school students. Organizers say the goal is to help students think about and get ready to enter the workforce and to make connections with local employers as well. That event will be held at East High School through Friday. Time now for news from around the state this morning. The Regional Transit Service is calling for increased funding for public transportation in this year's state budget. RTS is joining all of New York's transit systems and asking for a 10% hike in funding. The group is also asking for a 50% funding increase over the next 5 years. This year's budget is due on Thursday, April 1st. The executive order allowing restaurants in New York to deliver and serve takeout alcohol has now been extended to April 6th. That order was originally set to expire yesterday. A recent survey conducted by the New York Restaurant Association said 86% of respondents would like to see that executive order become a permanent fixture. Some national news this morning. Opening statements in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin will begin today. Chauvin is accused of killing George Floyd last May. Jury selection took about 2 weeks. Due to the high-profile nature of this case, Chauvin has been charged with second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. 4 people have died after severe flooding in the Nashville, Tennessee area. A state of emergency has been declared there by city officials. Rising water levels have closed multiple streets. The area has recorded over a foot of rain since last week. Time now for a look at the GRE Morning Business Report here in our Sunrise Smart Start. The U.S. Senate has voted to extend the Paycheck Protection Program to May 31st. That means small business owners still reeling from the pandemic will have extra time to apply for low-interest loans. President Biden is expected to sign that extension into law this week. About 30 million Social Security recipients are still waiting for their stimulus checks. The House Ways and Means Committee is pointing the finger at the Social Security Administration. Lawmakers asked the agency to begin sending payment information 2 weeks before President Biden signed the COVID relief deal, but the SSA didn't get the payment data to the IRS until yesterday. The IRS has now said has not said, I should say, how long it will take for those Social Security recipients to receive their checks. All right, let's get a look at what folks are going to be talking about today at the old water cooler. That massive cargo ship stuck in the Suez Canal since last week has been partially refloated. So some good news here. The traffic buildup is costing billions in global trade as other vessels are stuck waiting to get through the canal. Many have taken to social media to share their thoughts on the situation, including a man locally from Rochester with a love for video games. There's the video game. Eric Wilder turned the Suez Canal gaffe into, this video game. Anyone can play it online as the bulldozer trying desperately to move the vessel. Wilder telling News 8 he built the game in about 2 hours And just like the boat, it's been a hit online.
Super stuck.
We've got a link. If you want to try out the game, just head to rochesterfirst.com.
I'm going to miss all the memes that came from this.
Yeah, it's super stuck. But a little bit of improvement here this morning, and that's some good news. Cannot say the same about the forecast on this Monday. It's a rough start out there, Josh.
It's rough. It's certainly on the blustery side, and today's temperatures will leave a little bit to be desired, I guess you could say. The normal high is in the upper 40s to near 50. We're really only in the low 40s, I think, for a top temp here today. Even chillier than that south of town, where actually we've had some reports of snow covering some of the car rooftops in places like Cast Isle, and you'll run into a flurry or two as well in the Rochester area as we head through the next couple of hours. That's a shot here at the port. A lot of clouds out there, still that chilly breeze, but the wind advisories have been allowed to expire. There's radar and satellite. You can see there are definitely some snowflakes around, especially to the south and east of Rochester. The sky should clear nicely by later this afternoon, and the winds will diminish too, so it'll be much nicer as you head out and about for the afternoon. Temperatures, again, a little bit below normal, but we should enjoy lots of sunshine by the time the day is out, Mark.
All right, Josh, thank you. That's it for us for now here on News 8 at Sunrise. Our next update, though, coming up in about 30 minutes. CBS This Morning is up next. Be safe and have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, Twitter, and on our app for news and weather.